To New Arrivals at Princeton Record Exchange, Part 2, August 2016, of a massive 1,000-piece Beatles collection, including some of the rarest pieces we've ever seen. We're moving quickly because we got a lot to talk about. We're going to start with Beatles White Album. Everybody knows it. Everybody loves it. This particular one is an extremely low number, 16,939, the lowest we've ever seen. This version is a UK mono. Extremely rare. I don't ever see one in this condition. Top loader, no EMI on the label as an identifier. It comes with the poster and the photos. Just really a nice, clean, beautiful copy of a record. Well, I don't know if we'll ever see again. And speaking of that, introducing the Beatles. Introducing the Beatles, there are probably more iterations of this record than any record in existence, including hundreds of different bootlegs, different versions. Vee-Jay just cranked them out and cranked them out. Most versions are relatively common in like maybe the $30 to $80 range, but what differentiates this one, which we've never seen before, is the ad back cover. For Beatles collectors, you know just how rare this is. This is a very, very fine specimen. The cover itself is in very good shape, just a little hint of stuff here and there, but the covers are tight and neat, really just quite perfect. The vinyl itself is about VG plus, a little bit scratched up, but it's really the cover, of course, given the value of that. And speaking of Vee-Jay rarities, we have the Beatles versus the Four Seasons, the double LP set. I've seen one of these in the last 30 years. Extremely rare. You got to play and you could rate Beatles versus Four Seasons down the line. Often this is filled in when we do see it. No one scored this one, so that's good for us and you for value-wise. The vinyl itself is VG+. It is unfortunately missing the poster, which comes with it. Very common for that to be gone, but still a real rarity. Nice to have in stock. And then we have a piece that we didn't even know existed. We've done a lot of research for it. It definitely seems authentic. It is extremely well made. The binding is very professional. So this is the Beatles Story, the Authentic B.B.C production on Wavelength. It was a radio broadcast, 1972 it came out. Presumably only 150 made. This is 122 of 150. We've only found records of maybe 3 trading, so it's difficult to really gauge price. We've been giving it our best. Has this great booklet inside with all the transcripts. It's both interviews and music, and they are all picture discs. 13 of them inside. Won't take too long. But really a perfect set in perfect condition. I mean, except a little bit of stuff here and there, but I mean, for something that's 72, 40-something odd years old, not bad, and I doubt we'll ever see one of these again. And coming up next, we have the Beatles Collection. These were reissues that came out in the early 80s, I think 1982, 1983. Typically, we see the UK import, all 13 albums. Very nice box, pebble textured. But we've never seen before this Australian version. Same record, same basic idea. This one's on Parlophone, this is on EMI. But the gold box, didn't even know it existed. But sure enough, there it is. Next up, we have the original UK Let It Be box. I've seen this a few times over the years, but what's really nice about this is the box, which gets really torn up really quickly. It's a pain to take out. The tray and the book that comes with it are all in really excellent condition. No pages coming out, really fine. This is the original red apple version. There's later green apple ones. Real pleasure to have one in this condition. And then we also have a Canadian version of it. They were all made in the UK, but this one was produced for export to Canada, so there'll be a little bit of Canada on the background here. The records are not in good condition on this one. It's a VG+, but the tray and book are also excellent. And then finally, I'm just going to take a real quick flip. We've got monos, we've got colored vinyl, we've got individual recordings of Harrison and McCartney and Lennon, we've got mobile fidelities, there's Japanese pressings, there's Canadian colored vinyl, there's Japanese red vinyl, there is Uruguayan, there is Chilean, there are all sorts of rarities just piling up all over the place. An embarrassment of riches. Again, 1,000 records all going out today. Lots of rarities, lots of not high-priced ones. Green labels, rainbow labels, red labels, UK, every country under the sun. Just a really amazing once-in-a-lifetime collection at Princeton Record Exchange in Princeton, New Jersey.